with Magnus Fedoseev. I think it's the game that we have to focus on. Since Magnus has slowed down, he has made a draw. If Vidit wins this game, he is actually catching up with Magnus Carlsen. So all eyes on Vidit, and he gets a great chance here.
Oh, just a simple plus, similar to what we were talking about earlier. Bishop pair on an open board. The rook on a8 not connected to its friend on e8 because the king is on d8 right in between them. Knight takes c3, bishop b2 as you're highlighting. The thing about the bishops that make them so powerful compared to a knight is the knight, yeah, it can hop around, take a pawn, jump backwards, but the bishops can take on one side of the board and still protect the other, where knights take so much time to get from the A file all the way to the H file. So the bishops being long-range pieces, super useful in a position of this nature. And I think that for Vidit, if that knight, say, goes back to f6 rather than taking on c3, he'll go bishop e3 and then plant his bishop on d4. And the bishop on d4 stares the knight. It also stares that a7 pawn, which might be a bit tender. Oh, I don't like this one bit, and I don't think Fedoseev does, and that's why he stole the pawn on c3. He said, look, it's going to be a bad position, but at least I have 3-on-1 on the queen side.
Yes, exactly. It's a very sad decision, but there was nothing else. Otherwise, it's just bad for absolutely no benefit. But it's a very sad position. Yeah, it's knowing that he has just played a 190 moves marathon. Yeah, he fought his way back, then he gets the black pieces, he mixes up something during the opening, gets immediately a very bad position, and okay, Vidit is just in such a great shape. I don't really see Fedoseev holding this.
And Vidit Gujrathi, really one of the players of the year. So much has been said about his Grand Swiss victory, but we've seen Vidit 2.0. It's what Vishwanathan Anand said of him at Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz in Calcutta. He just is finding his form in a way that's more consistent than in the past, and he is in great shape to join Magnus Carlsen in the tournament lead. Bishop e6 played by Fedoseev, just closing down the e-file, giving his king a space on d7. But at some point, the pawns on the king side will start marching forward. h4, h5, h6. That bishop on g7 might not have to leave the square, and that h7 pawn will be a target. So I do like Vidit's position. And Peter, because it's the last round of the Women's World Rapid, I do think we should zoom out of this for a moment and then try to look at what's happening in the women's tournament. Just because Gujrathi.
Wow! Vidit is losing!
I was going to think Vidit was going to be winning.
No, Vidit is... he has spoiled everything, and Fedoseev about to deliver another shock to Indian fans.
And we can later see how it happened, but Vidit was in the driver's seat all game with the bishop pair, the kingside pawn majority. It looks like a few turns ago, Vidit, in an equal position, went wrong. And sometimes, Peter, when you know you're much better early on, you keep playing for a win, even when the position doesn't call for it. In time trouble, it's not going to help out. But Vladimir Fedoseev, the guy is an absolute fighter. Like what he did against Nihal, here against Vidit, he never caved. And it looks like he is a piece ahead and ready to take this one home.
Yeah, rook g3 will be played. Yeah, on the board. h5 is met by rook take g4, but no, then the e-pawn is a problem. Then okay, basically, it does not really matter. He just wants to make sure that the rook can be activated behind the h-pawn.
Yeah, you saw Fedoseev. I thought he was going to grab the rook over there, but no, he brings his king up, and as you said, rook g1, rook h1, as is necessary to stop the h-pawn. But still some chances for Vidit, because outside pass pawns are really annoying to handle, and the white king is coming to f2, so it's not game over, at least not yet.
Yes, and basically because rook g3 was primarily played with the idea of hitting rook take g4 against h5. That was a hallucination there by Fedoseev. I also fell for the same trap. And with the king coming closer and black's rook won't be able to cover the h-file, then there's intrigue here.
And the bishop on e8 is stuck in place. So, oh, king, wait, the king goes up to g2. Or maybe king g2.
I don't know from which angle. Yeah, king f2 is safer. And Vidit is back. Vidit is alive.
Because black doesn't have a move here. Bishop takes h5 is impossible because the e-pawn gets to go. So I just can take on h5 and we make a draw. So, phew.
Unbelievable. It shows the nerves.
But credit to Vidit, because he was on the verge of collapsing. He was much better, then he blunders a piece, and yet he's still in the game. So the nerves are definitely there, but when these players are giving it their all, they're really difficult to take down.
Wow, okay, I think that Fedoseev cannot believe It looked like just 3 moves ago that it's kind of almost designable territory, and all of a sudden white's pawn is on h5, yeah, king d5, kicking the rook. But
Okay,
white has king g3. Can we play king g3?
I'm also looking at rook f4 just to go rook f8 next. So many options
Yes.
because the rook on h4 is loose. So once the rook's on f4, it's the kind of bishop e6 check will pick up that rook.
Exactly, yeah, rook f4 is very important because all these king g6 is impossible to evaluate. Yeah, let's take a look what is Vidit gonna play.
I have a feeling that there's some variation where there's a skewer, where the black king, like let's say g4 bishop is dropped. I get the feeling there's some skewer at the end of a line where the white rook's on e8, the black king comes back, and you just go h6, h7, and rook a8, something like that. That's what I imagine saving white in some of these positions.
And he has played the move rook f4, yeah, very important. It was vital. I think my king g3 was losing. Yeah, now king g3. Rook h1.
So the engine doesn't approve of king g3, so rook e4 immediately apparently was the better option because black has some resources now with the rook on h1, a more active square. So I can comprehend why it would be. I still don't see the answer to what black should do here though.
Yeah, it basically means that it was a study-like position. So after, instead of king g3, just rook e4, it was a Zugzwangy stuff. Incredible, but with 20 seconds of clock, you cannot realize all these things.
But this is why. The rook on h4 was very passive and stuck in place. The rook just slid on over to f1, and now the rook can go back to, say, f6 or f7 and try to stop the h-pawn. So Vidit just brought his king to h4. He's still chugging along, trying to bring his king to g5, pawn to h6. I know the engine is all the way down in black's favor, but I actually could see this even becoming a win for white if black is not careful.
King d5. But now white does not have rook f4. That's the problem, and if you have to play rook e3, then
Knight
things are shaky. Knight f5
Knight
check,
F-
exactly.
What a find from Fedoseev. You force all the pieces off, and then you win the h-pawn on the spot, and the bishop on e8 is in the perfect place, blockading the enemy passer on the 7th rank. So it looks like he just went rook to...
No, bishop h3.
Okay, so king takes rook, bishop takes rook. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, then there is some hope. 10 seconds. Rook h1.
And we see beneath the players the storyline of the game. Vidit's actually played more great moves than Fedoseev, but you see only one blunder made, and it was from Vidit, and it was near the position we have currently. About 15 moves ago, he lost a full minor piece. So bishop d7, going after the pin piece. And is that it?
That's it, yeah. Rook g4 played, only move, but okay, now already things will not work out. Yeah, check is coming, and rook takes. h3.
And you could see it on Vidit's face. He looked up at Fedoseev. He is not happy. Look at him. He can't believe what's happened here because of the opening stage of the game was so heavily in his favor. But Fedoseev's a fighter. And for Vidit Gujrathi, there it is. Resignation. Oh, no. You hate to see that from anyone. And for Vidit Gujrathi, just another disappointing game in such a critical moment. I feel for him, Peter.
Yeah, especially after this wonderful opening. Yeah, we can maybe catch up with the